morning. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Here's the situation. Today it is gloomy out there and I am hella behind on Tomb of Sand, and I promised Kieran I would read it with him, and the man has finished it and I am in the dust. I've read part one. It's not gelled with me. I think part one kind of introduces you to the cast of characters within Tomb of Sand, which consist of kind of multi-generational family situation, a joint family almost, but not really. And it could have been condensed into like 20, max 25 pages, and it's just not been vibing with me. But I really need to finish part two. That's about 300 pages, so that's the goal of this morning. And I thought it would be fun to take you guys along with me to do a little bit of cafe hopping and get me out of my apartment with nothing but a book so that I'm forced to read this. Update. So we just had brekkie and it was pretty good. It's fine. Mostly I just went because they have a really good ginger tea and I've had a sore throat, so I thought that was the move. And now I'm gonna walk a little bit to the next cafe, which is L&N. I think that's how you say it. I've seen it's like all over London and I think they have like fancy pants lattes, so I'm gonna go there. Reading wise, I've read 100 pages in part two. Thank God. Now I have 200 more left. So a recurring metaphor in all of Tomb of Sand is the role of doors and how they are like almost liminal spaces, just spaces through which, you know, you enter, you leave, they see things, you know, whatever. It's a very extended metaphor that keeps on repeating. In part two, Ma has finally returned. We don't know where she went, but she came back. She's staying with Beti meaning daughter. So she's staying with her daughter and in her apartment, and they're like getting acclimated, and there's also this like extended metaphor of how the mother is now becoming the daughter, and you know, just the evolution of aging, where when you're older, like you're rediscovering your body almost, and like things are more interesting, whatever. That's happening. Let's get a move on, eh? Hello, I am back home. I had a rose latte situation, and rose is such a strong flavor. And then I read another 100 pages in part two, so 2/3 of the way through with part two, and I am a little bit over halfway through with the book. Yes, I'm hoping to finish part two within the next 2 hours. I kind of have some work things to do, so we'll see if I can finish that, and then maybe like half of part three. We're doing things. Things are happening. Hi, it's time to celebrate. It's 5:30. I'm gonna go pick up my food because I have finished the last 100 pages of part two. I know that my intro, like just 10 seconds ago, might have made it seem like I finished the whole entire book. No, not yet, not quite. I have 196 pages left, so I mean, I could do it tonight. Here's the thing. This is a book that meanders quite a bit. And there are plot points, but they're like bullets. And we don't really get a lot of the plot, really. Like, things happen every 150 pages, and we're told it through like a sentence, but there's just a lot of waffling. That's one word to describe it, right? And I think, I'm on page 530, and we're only now getting to Pakistan. And a book that is more than 700 pages, and I don't know, I would have preferred if we got there maybe at page 300. I don't know. I don't know where part 3 is going to take us, because part 2 was long. Hello, it's a new day, by which I mean the next day. And I finally made it to part 3. I'm 100 pages in, and finally we are getting somewhere. Finally, things are happening. We're learning more about Ma, the matriarch, discovering her story, and we've made it to Pakistan. Took us 550 pages, but we're there. It's really good. I've cried like 3 times, and things are picking up. I'm starting to enjoy it. It's just, it took so long to get here. And I have another 100 pages left, less than 100 pages left, I think. And I'm gonna go run an errand, hopefully get some ramen, and bring my book with me, bring this massive tome with me, and hopefully read more of it. My goal is, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna finish the book today, and then probably film a review tomorrow, because there's so much to talk about. There really is a lot to talk about with this book. There are so many themes that we come back to, and metaphors and ideas, and obviously there's a lot of wordplay happening, but I just think personally that's just the nature of South Asian languages. There's a musicality, and wordplay is just inherent in the language. But God, this book took a lot out of me. Hello, we're back. So, I finished. Yay. I read like 50 pages in the mall, and I cried in the mall. And then I ate my ramen. Part 3 is good. It's really good. It is narrative, beautiful scenes, a touch of magical realism, so much to unpack, scenes of remembered violence, of partition. We see Ma's story, the story that she was forced to forget, or rather bury beneath the sand, and her daughter, who's come with her to Pakistan, is unable to wrap her mind around the reality of who her mother was before she was born, that her mother could have had another life, that her mother could have been married to another. And as a result of that, we see that the daughter, Beti, fitting name, how she is like unable to, she loses herself in this story just throughout the course of it. She who had led herself to believe that she was a progressive woman who had crafted her own life, only to realize that she had trapped herself within a cage of her own creation. Then we see how in part 2 there was a really brilliant scene about crows and memory, and this young crow who was really fiery, and we see him return. Like, it is good, but to get there took a long time. It took way too long, and it exhausted me. I'm exhausted, and I have to like think about things. I'm gonna do a review, so you should definitely watch that, because that will be more cohesive, covering different themes and giving a little bit of analysis. Mostly I just did this vlog to really ensure that I finished this book, because I had been slacking. I read 200 pages, put it down, and finally I returned to it, and I read 500 pages in 2 days. I have like a headache, I think. It's a lot. But this whole Booker journey has been so much fun. I'm not done yet. I just made it seem like I am. I still have 2 more to go, but it's really interesting to see different writing styles, the different ways people tussle with the art of storytelling. But yeah, I'm gonna go like decompress, watch a YouTube video, and chill. See you. Yeah, this is the end of the vlog. See you guys later. Oh, actually, no, before we do that, if you've read this book, let me know. Let me know your thoughts.